All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not in the grandstands or along the fence, you're going to want to head that way. Our first Nostalgia Top Fuel car is in the water box right now. Behind the water box, the Nitro Hemi of Dusty Green out of Pleasant Hill, California. Neal and Park's chassis machine. Big block, supercharged Chevy out in front of the driver, and it's got pop in the tank. The nitro burners. Getting set to fire it up here. Now, Dusty was here yesterday, but missed out on the qualifying session. So this is his first attempt here at Beach Bend Raceway Park for this year's edition of the Holley Hot Rod Reunion. Hot Rod Bob Beck makes his way back to the microphone as we get set for qualifying session number 2 of Top Fuel.
All right, Dusty Green coming up out of Pleasant Hill, California. A Rodeck engine in the machine, one of the few here. It's a 2006 Nielsen Park chassis. Now, it says he's got a 406 cubic inch Chevrolet, but those spark plugs are in the wrong place. All right, coming back. Look at the exhaust coming out. Is he pumping fuel out the left bank? Steve Harwood, the sponsor. Dusty Green doing the driving. Nostalgia Top Fuel coming your way. Nitro Hemi. The bump right now is 806. We've had a couple of cars go up, spin the tires, smoke them headed down track. But right now, that bump is very unsecure. This is one of 2 qualifying sections today. And there's another. The old way was spinning the tires. The new way, don't do that. You lose too much time. And unfortunately, Dusty Green coasts through. Doesn't make the bump, goes 12:36. He'll have another chance at this later this afternoon. This is only the first of 2 qualifying sessions today here at the Hot Rod Reunion. So all right, more cars rolling up into the beams. Mindy Fry in the high-speed motorsports machine. She is one of the top runners in Nostalgia Top Fuel out of Los Angeles, California. A 2016 Hadman chassis car with a Donovan 419. She rolled through and kind of coasted down track on her last run. Backed out of it about half track just to see what the car was doing. They got a feel for the car, and now they're back to run the numbers. Dave Miller, Diamond Dave Miller, it's an 05 Nielsen Park chassis car with a 417 cubic inch Chrysler Hemi, a Donovan. 69 years young. Currently the number 6 qualifier with a 641, 166 miles an hour. Mindy Fry in the high-speed motorsports machine getting ready to go against Dave Miller. Actually, it's just a qualifier. They're not really against each other, but they are working for that top spot on the qualifying ladder. his tires good and hot. Motorsport machine, chassis. Mendy Fry's history in drag racing dates back to her days in high school. Even her daily driver to get to school when she was 16 years old was a blown machine. She had a 1955 Chevy with a big block and a blower sitting on top that Dad built for her. Then she moved on to a Roadster that she ran in Supergas or Supercomp back in those days. She was one of the quickest teenagers in high school. We brought her back to the Good Guys Sonoma race one time as the Grand Marshal, and she got hooked all over again in racing. After she got her degree, she came back and became one of the top drivers. She ran A Fuel, Junior Fuel, and Top Fuel. She's run funny cars and dragsters. The lady is quite capable of handling any kind of car with as much horsepower as you can throw at her. Dave Miller out of Cedar Hill, Missouri. Nielsen Park chassis car, currently the number 6 qualifier. Mendy, number 11. Track conditions have improved. Temperatures are not as hot as they were yesterday at this. Mendy down the center of the track, and she goes 568, 235 miles an hour. Miller up in smoke for an 824. So Miller's in the number 7 spot with his 641 from yesterday. Mendy goes to the number 1 spot with a 568, 235 miles an hour. She has low ET so far. James Young has the high mile per hour at 254. He did that yesterday running a 579. There are a lot of cars in the background ready to go. So more fuel action happening. The Mendy Fry High Speed Motorsports team happy with that run. They are number 1. The target is on their back now with a 568. The Running Wild team coming up in the right lane. Brendan Murray. In the left lane, we've got another cool machine, the Great Executions 7. Brendan Murray out of Northern California. He was the last in the 5-second club of the Nostalgia front-motored fuel cars. Now, up until a couple of years ago, Brendan ran Chevrolet engines. He's made the switch to Hemis, and he is going quicker than ever. Tyler Hilton out of Cincinnati, Ohio, the 2012 Horton chassis car, is running a 427 cubic inch Chevrolet engine. Now, currently, Tyler's number 10 qualifier. He ran a 1040, spinning the tires. Brendan's number 6 qualifier with a 638 at 180 miles an hour. He backed out early. Did his checkout run. Ran what he wanted to. He's solidly in the show in the number 6 spot. But Brendan, now it is a serious qualifier. And like I said, he is capable of running 5-second ETs. He was the last in the 5-second club running a Chevrolet. The Mopar puts out more power, more reliable. Hemi against Big Block Chevrolet, getting ready to go. There are a couple of Chevrolets in the field today. Tyler's running the Big Block. We're going to see Adam Sorokin a little bit later on. He has gotten the world's fastest small block. And he is the defending champion of this event. He won this event last year. Tyler Hilton going to try to improve. Right now, the bump is 655. Brendan Murray coming back first. Tyler Hilton out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Brendan Murray out of San Jose, California. If there's a nitro race someplace, Brendan Murray will be there. All right, Brendan Murray's car is going a little red. You can see the fuel coming out of the pipes as he idles in. Pre-stage light lit. Deep stage for Brendan Murray. Tyler Hilton. Brendan on a strong run. 595, 213 miles an hour for Brendan Murray. 750 spinning him at 213 miles an hour. So Tyler doesn't make the cut after 2 rounds of qualifying. We still have another round coming. Brendan Murray moves up to the number 3 spot with his 595. The bubble is still 655 for the top 8 cars to run tomorrow. We do have another qualifying session later this afternoon, and Tyler will have another shot at it. He spun the tires on the hit, had a 1.160 foot mark, and then the tires went away. It was 3.5 seconds at the 330 point. Brendan Murray, 2.7 seconds. 5:29 at the 8th mile for Tyler, 3:95 for Brendan. Brendan was at 208 miles an hour at the 1,000-foot mark. Jason Greenwood now coming up out of Racine, Wisconsin. He's in a 2010 Sterling chassis car with a small 413 Hemi. He's the number 6 qualifier right now with a 622. Julius Hughes out of Gainesville, Georgia. He is the man on the bubble. Julius at 655 at 189 miles an hour in a 2011 Horton chassis car with a late model style 426 Hemi. All right, Julius Hughes first went out there to get the tires hot, gets to the 330 point before he's able to bring it to a stop. Short burst for Jason Greenwood. So Greenwood's the number 6 qualifier with a 622. Julius Hughes on the bubble, 655. He is in the position where he's got to improve. All right, Julius Hughes, Gainesville, Georgia, 53 years old, in 2011 Horton chassis car. Jason Greenwood, 42 years old. So the youngsters are getting into that. I say youngsters, but they're the younger drivers in the category, actually. In the tower with us right now, giving us some insight, is Bob Barabbas, a.k.a. Floyd Lippincott Jr., more famous for his driving of the Freight Train twin-engine dragster, but was a Nostalgia Top Fuel driver as well. Full stage, lights come on. Keep it straight, keep it going. They're on a 625, 640 for Julius Hughes, 625 for Jason Greenwood. So Jason Greenwood goes to the number 6 spot. Julius Hughes moves up 1 to the 7th position. And now Dave Miller, who's already made a pass so far, is the bubble at 641. A lot of smoke down there. We're going to check it out. So Julius Hughes moves up. He was in the 7th position with a puts him in the 7th position with a 640. Jason Greenwood, actually goes in the 6th position with a 622. Julius Hughes goes to number 7, moves up 1 from the number 8 spot he had a moment ago. But that also brings the bump down to 640 with a 9 from 655. Now coming up in the right lane, the champion Speed Shop car with Adam Sorokin as the pilot. He is the defending champion of this event, and he has got the smallest engine in the class at 377 cubic inches. It is a small block Chevrolet configuration. Adam out of La Crescenta, California, 377 cubic inch Chevy. Number 5 qualifier right now with a 618 at 222 miles an hour. Paul Schultz alongside him. Number 10 out of the qualifying ladder right now. He's 2 out. He ran at 806 during his last run at a mere 116 miles an hour. Donovan Hemme in Paul Schultz's car. It's a 92 Sterling chassis car. Sorokin with a 2004 Sterling chassis car. Now, Paul says he's Paul Nobody Schultz. Number 10 qualifier with an 806. It's a 1992 chassis with a 390 Hemi. So it's the smallest Hemi in the category. You have the smallest 2 engines in the class right now getting ready to go. Small block Chevy with 377 cubic inches. Against the small 390 cubic inch Hemi. Now, Chrysler introduced the Hemi back in the early 1950s. Dodge had their version called the Little Red Ram. It was 241 cubic inches. Chrysler had a 331. They increased the size of the Hemi, and the most popular, besides the 426, but the most popular earlies was the 392 Hemi. What was the mainstay for many top fuel cars. All right, the good news is there was a lot of smoke, but nothing on the track. So we're getting ready to go now. Paul Schultz over in the Budweiser lane. Adam Sorokin here in the Jeggy lane. Engines come to life. Adam Sorokin's dad, Mike Sorokin, driver of the Surfers Top Fuel car. Schultz doing a short burst, and the car gets crossed up. He backs out of it, keeps it rubber side down and shiny side up. Sorokin, nice guy. He just appeared recently on Nitro Reports. We had him on Speed Scene Live a couple of years ago. Very personable racer. I believe his son just got his driver's license, so everyone in the La Crescenta, Burbank, Southern California area has gotten real scared. Sorokin's team, look at him. the very patriotic red, white, and blue, the Stars and Stripes. Hot Rod, round one to the lanes. Hot Rod to the lanes, please. We need Hot Rod to the lanes, please. It's your first round of eliminations. Right down the center of the track. He goes 583, 207 miles an hour. 583, 207. Moves him into the number 3 spot. Schultz, number 9 with a 654. Dave Miller still on the bump with 641. But it's not over yet. Hot Rod to the lanes. First round of eliminations. Hot Rod to the lanes. First round of eliminations. Read 6-0 to the staging lanes, please. 6-0 category cars to the staging lanes, please. Hot Rod to the lanes for your first round of eliminations. 6-0 to the lanes. Nitro's not over. Here's the Nitro Fuel cars. We've got funny cars and altereds coming your way next. Tim. All right, AA Altereds will be out for the second qualifying session later today. We will not run them now, but the AA Altereds will be back. Right now, we've got Tim Cullinan out of Franklin Park, Illinois, and that bright green machine. It's a 2009 NTF chassis with a TFX 413. Yeah, it's got a Hemi. Number 5 qualifier with a 596. James Young out of Salem, Wisconsin, your number 2 qualifier. Front engine dragster's got a Hemi with a 406, another small motored car. We're checking the track. We're getting the cars clear of the track. We'll get ready to go with this second round of Top Fuel qualifying. Once the fuel dragsters have gone, we've got the funny cars waiting for you. 6-0, you should be in the lane. 6-0 to the lanes. Hot Rod for first round of eliminations to the lanes. Hot Rod for first round of eliminations to the lanes, please. All right, here we go. Track is getting cleared. They're just about done at the top end. And we'll fire up the 2 fuel dragsters here now. The bump is still 641. Neither of these drivers have to worry about that. James Young is number 2 right now with the 579, 254 miles per hour. He's got the mile per hour of the meet. No one has gone quicker than 254 so far. Tim Cullinan is number 5 qualifier at 596, 204 miles an hour. Still getting the top end clear. Thank you for coming out to the Holley's 16th annual National Hot Rod Reunion. We are glad you could be here. It's all presented by AAA, the Automobile Club. One of the unique things about Beach Bend Raceway is the covered grandstands. That's great. You get to be in the shade all day. There's a little breeze coming through there. Comfortable. All right, we got the okay. They're firing up. They'll be clear of the track in just a moment. Tim Cullinan in the Budweiser lane. James Young in the Jigs.com lane. Young is the driving force so far in qualifying. He's the number 2 qualifier by ET, but he's got the highest mile per hour of any car out here so far. Cullinan doing a good burnout, getting to the 330 mark is James Young, and Cullinan right alongside. Crews meet them there. James Young gets the better person to back up anyway. Backing him up straight, getting ready to go. Did James Young pass his mile per hour run that he made last time? Move up to the number 2, take his car from the number 2 to the number 1 spot. Mendy Fry currently in the number 1 spot with a 568. Only 235 miles an hour. Young at 579 at 254 miles an hour. So got the horsepower, got the mile per hour. Excellent ET, but can still improve. Can he take away the top spot from Mendy Fry? That's not going to happen. Cullinan going down track, good, straight, and smooth. 590, 239 miles an hour for Tim Cullinan. 590, and that 590 is a good run. Moves Cullinan up to the number 4 spot. And at the mile per hour, it is the second fastest run of the weekend. So Young goes up in smoke on that run. Not the way they wanted to do it, but their number 2 qualifying position still holding strong. right, once we get the track clear, we'll bring the funny cars out. As you can see, we've already got one ready to go. Dodge Challenger body getting ready. More funny car action. The Nostalgia Funny Cars, where you can actually recognize what the car is. Greg Jacobsmeyer out of Florissant, Missouri, 1970 Challenger. Greg Jacobsmeyer out of Florissant, Missouri. He's an engineer. 457 cubic inches worth of TFX motor in this 1970 Dodge Challenger. It's got a 125-inch wheelbase. Moving up. Getting a single. Getting the tires heated up. He has not made a pass yet, so he's not on the qualifying ladder. Sean Bowen is currently the #1 qualifier. He ran a 587 at 241 miles an hour. This is the second round of qualifying for the Nostalgia Funny Cars. As I said earlier, they will be back for another round of qualifying later this afternoon. Jacobsmeyer being moved up to the starting line. The goal is a 587. That will put him up on top. 586 or quicker is what he needs, actually. No passes yet for Greg. Doesn't spin him. Keeps it in the center. 607, 233 miles an hour. 607 at 233 puts him in the #2 spot. Makes him the #2 qualifier ahead of John Smith, just behind Sean Bowen. But mile per hour wise, it puts him #2 as well. Sean Bowen had a 587 at 241 miles an hour. Greg Jacobsmeyer now is the #2 with a 607 at 233 miles an hour. More racing action to happen. More qualifying excitement. Dan Horan coming up over in the left lane. Dan had a strong run going. Actually, it was a good, strong ET, but he wavered a little bit and took out the center cones at the finish line. That disqualified him on that run. He would have been the #1 qualifier. So Dan Horan's over in the left lane. Eric Stevens is here in the right lane. Stevens is currently the #4 qualifier with his 69 Camaro. Got a Hemi, 500 cubic inches. Horan, a Hemi with 426 cubic inches. So Horan with the smaller motor. But as we've seen earlier with the top fuel dragsters, smaller's not necessarily a bad thing, as they're able to get off the line without hazing the tires. And we've seen some good, strong runs from them. Dan Horan, an electrical contractor by trade, comes from a long line of dragster family. His dad, Curly Dan Horan, was a top fuel champion and had won with his early 1970s car. Actually, it was one of the last of the front motored cars. He won the Good Guys Pomona Top Fuel race with his antique, I guess you could say, Top Fuel dragster, and Dan came back and ran that same car in Top Fuel. He extended the wheelbase out on it, then decided after he'd run the Fuel dragster for a while that funny cars was more his style, and he came back driving a funny car. He's had some fun, stayed with it. So Dan Horan over in the Budweiser lane, Eric Stevens in the Jegs.com lane. Stevens, number 4 qualifier with a 684. Horan couldn't keep it on track, and he knocked out the center cones, disqualifying him on his last run. Nostalgia Funny Car, where you can still recognize what the car really is. Moran's got to keep it in the groove this time. He's got the horsepower. He's got the traction in general. He just went down track last time and swerved into the cones, the timing cones. Disqualified him. Moving around. Moran's coming close to the wall. He's got to back out of it. Not the run he wanted. 689 for Eric Stevens, so his last run of 684 will hold. Horan backs out of it as the car got out of the groove again. So Horan, he does make a qualifying run at 735, but that is not going to be where he wants to be. And they've got to figure out what the handling issue is with the car, because that's the second time it has creeped over to the left. Last time he was in the right lane and crossed the center line. This time he backed out of it as he came close to the wall, got out of the groove. More funny car action happening as we have more funny cars showing up for this second round of qualifying. We'll have a third round later this afternoon, just an hour or so away from now. Fortune Racing, beautiful Camaro here in the left lane. Look at the paint job on this baby. Metal flake glistens in the sun. The flames on the 69 Camaro funny car body. Sean Bowen, your number 1 qualifier. The Bartone-sponsored funny car. John Smith out of Anderson, South Carolina, the number 3 qualifier with the Challenger body. Smith ran a 6:79, 143. Bowen, a 5:87 at 241 miles an hour. All right, they're ready to go. Bowen going to try to improve on his number 1 spot. He ran a 5:87, 241 last time out. Smith ran a 6:79 at 143 miles an hour. Holding traction, they're staying right in the center of the lanes. Down track, the fastest side-by-side of the weekend. 595 for Bowen. He slows down. Same mile per hour, though, at 241. Smith stays in the number 2 spot, or number 3 spot. He ran 6:28. His last run, 6:28. So Smith stays in number 3 with a 6:28, 197 miles an hour. Bowen, a 5:95, slows down a bit at 241.8 miles an hour. So almost identical mile per hour. He was a little bit quicker on his first run. He had a 241.5 on this run against a 241.8 on the previous one. So he holds on to the number 1 spot. Smith stays in number 3 with a 6:28. And it's not over. There's more coming your way. All right, now this is the 6-0 heads-up class. Six-0.